Now that you have learned Ansible, why would you start with Chef? Ansible might be simple and good to start with, but sometimes you need something more. If you have the requirements of keeping the current state of all your machines, Chef is a good fit. Rather than pushing all the changes, Chef works with a pull model by default, periodically checking for changes. Also, Amazon AWS, the most popular cloud provider, is using Chef in one of its own products, called OpsWorks. If you are going to use AWS, knowledge of Chef will be a good start to begin automating your AWS instances. If you are completely convinced you will use Ansible in the future, you can also skip these lectures. It will not be a dependency for any of the next lectures. What is Chef? Just like Ansible, Chef is an automation platform for developers and system engineers to continuously define, build, and manage infrastructure. It allows you to write infrastructure as code, so that you can programmatically provision and configure your infrastructure, and treat it like any other code base. During disaster recovery, you can reconstruct your business from the code repository, the data backup, and its bare metal resources. Learning Chef is like learning the basics of a language. The learning curve is a bit steeper than learning Ansible. Still, the best way to learn Chef is to use it. Unlike Ansible, you will always want to run a Chef server to keep the state of your machines. You can go for a hosted Chef solution, which is Chef Server as a Service. You pay for your usage, which is basically the amount of nodes you will want to manage. You can also run Chef Server in-house on your own hardware, which is a little bit more complex, but still pretty easy doable. I will show you in the next lectures how you can do that. Using Chef Server is free when you are using the free version, which doesn't come with any support or any premium features. If you are using Amazon AWS, you will be able to use OpsWorks, which is based on Chef. It's free if you use it to provision and configure EC2 instances. I think it's pretty useful, but only when you are already an AWS customer or you're planning to be. Otherwise, you might just want to run the Chef server yourself. Before we get started, we need to go over some terminology that is specific to Chef. We're going to talk about organizations, environments, roles, nodes, recipes, cookbooks, and search. The first concept is organizations. They are completely independent tenants of your Chef server. You might just want to create one organization for your purposes, or if you are a bigger company, you might use more. They share nothing with other organizations and may represent different companies or business units or departments. You typically are going to have three environments: development, QA or staging, and production. It's the life stages of the application. Environments policies may include data attributes necessary for configuring infrastructure, like the location of a package repository or the version of a Chef configuration file.